Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, December 9th. It is 7:39. My apologies for a little delay today. I call the school committee meeting to order. I'd like to remind everyone that we are taped and streamed live by WMCT-TV, so thank you for that. So if I could have everyone rise so we can have the Pledge of Allegiance. Please and thank you. All right. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. Thank you, everyone. Let's dive in, shall we? First up, we have presentations. All righty. We have the Marlboro High School Student Advisory Committee. So who's starting that? Dun, dun, dun. Do I have to call on names? Oh, there we go. Thank you for volunteering. Just make sure that the green light is on the microphone at the bottom. Perfect.
Just pull it up. Sorry about that. Good evening, school committee. My name is
No, you're good.
go.
You're good.
Good evening, school committee. My name is Sophia Nieves, and I'm the freshman SAC representative for the 25 to 26 school year. Marlboro High is one of the many representations of the city of Marlboro and as a whole. From hosting charity events to sporting tournaments, our school is one of the main highs for public activity in our community. However, whenever there is a public event, comes with a group of people requiring restroom access. And although such resources are provided, the state of these facilities affects how Marlboro is seen by its people. We all want a positive outlook towards our town, and upgrading would bring a positive impact towards all factors involved. The Marlboro High School restrooms require renovations, and it requires these renovations as soon as possible. Regarding the first floor restroom, it's the main restroom used by the public and by the students. The field house, little theater, and the cafeteria host the majority of these events, and the bathrooms near the front are the main restrooms open for the people to use. However, the first floor's men's room is mostly non-functional, with 25% of the sinks leaking, and only 25% being properly functioning. Although the toilets are fully functional as well, there's a large issue regarding. The toilets are functioning as well, and within the first floor women's room, it's not much better, with 25% of faucets also being leaky, but over 75 being reported as functional, so that's a positive. Apologies. The state of these restrooms make it uncomfortable for hosting events and affects the well-being of our students and the citizens of Marlboro. The second floor isn't much better than the first, although the facilities are more clean and more often tended to than the first floor. There's still larger problems lingering. And such, within the men's restroom, there have been complaints of a toilet missing and the old versions of the sinks being non-functional, with over 10% being broken. Inside of the women's restroom, 25% of the toilets are affected by delayed flushing, with 33% of sinks experiencing poor water pressure and quality, and 50% experiencing abrupt stops between uses. An issue within both of these restrooms also are the new implemented vape detectors. Although they are mostly functional, they have currently been acting within scents in the restrooms, inaccurate scents have caused them to go off, causing delays within the school and causing students to be this holds students out of class and affects attendance and presence. Although the renovations may be expensive, it's money used for a greater cause. It improves work ethic as students, improves the overall quality of the school, and makes it a more reliable area for public use when hosting events. The plan would include fixing sinks, fixing toilets, and making sure each restroom is stocked with the necessities needed. I would like to ask this to be overviewed by the board committee in Marlboro, and thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Good. Okay. On to the next. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia.
Good evening, school committee. My name is Jade Onyango, and I am the sophomore SAC representative. Tonight, I'm going to be presenting on PSATs and SATs, specifically highlighting and showcasing the opportunities provided at MHS. To start off, PSATs. At MHS, one of the goals surrounding testing is testing accessibility. As such, PSATs aren't offered on Saturdays, like some other high schools. MHS also is no longer used as a general SAT test site. All of our test administrations are exclusive to our students and will occur within the school day itself. Back in October, both the PSAT and NMSQT were offered to 10th and 11th graders free of charge. The SAT is also available for any 12th graders interested, at no cost for students who qualify, or a fee waiver of $65. Now that these exams are digital, the College Board gives us several week-long testing window, ensuring that we are able to administer tests. Some data from the fall shows that in grade 10, 78 students took the PSAT. Among these 78, we had 2 students with EL accommodations and 2 other students with other accommodations. From grade 11, 88 students took the PSAT. Among these 88, 7 EL students and 2 students with other accommodations. And from grade 12, 88 students took the PSAT. And from those 88, 3 students had EL accommodations and 7 with other accommodations. Last spring, a school day SAT was added for 11th graders in mid-April. Upon noticing that juniors were struggling to find seats at testing locations nearby, the spring school day version was created. 70 students took advantage of this amazing opportunity last year, and it will be offered again in this coming spring in April 2026. We do have students who choose to take the SAT on the weekend in addition to or instead of here at school. In those cases, we have fee waiver codes available to any students who qualify. Some colleges take into account SAT scores when looking at admission, especially if your GPA is lower. SATs can definitely help you during your application process. Schools like UMass Amherst will review applications with or without standardized test scores. Framingham State and Worcester State are also test-optional schools. On the other hand, most private colleges still see that the SAT as an important part of their admissions. So taking advantage of this opportunity MHS provides will in turn be beneficial to students, no matter the schools they end up applying to. On another interesting note before I wrap up, thanks to a generous grant from Quest Diagnostics, free SAT prep is offered in the form of a live virtual course that works in their schedule outside of school. In one last spring, which we ran an MHS-only cohort, students took the live virtual SAT prep course here at MHS with a proctor on site. And that's all I have for tonight's school committee. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you, Jade.
That's just a clarifying. Jade, so am I hearing correct that we are not hosting SATs here anymore on the weekends? Or we are not a site? Do you know that or no?
We are a testing site, but not for like the general public, specifically for students at MHS.
It's only for MHS students?
Yeah. No Saturdays, yeah.
Huh, okay, that's a change. But we do have at least that one spring date that's during the weekday that we are offering as well.
They do it in the fall as well, don't they? Isn't there a fall date?
Yeah,
There's
there
fall
is.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For seniors, yeah.
Okay, but it's only MHS students.
During the school day.
Well, right, but on the weekends as well. No?
We no longer have like the weekend testing days.
We aren't doing any weekend testing. Okay, that's a huge change. Okay, thank you.
So you're the sophomore representative,
Yes.
and I'm just curious, I mean, you've taken an interest to finding out about this, but is this information you're giving us readily available to all the students in the school? Like, do sophomores know that they should, if they're inclined to want to utilize this opportunity, do they know? Like, how do people find out about it?
I feel like this year, I believe there was an announcement as well as I think during a Panther, which is kind of like a study period we have, or sometimes just presentations, it was like the opportunity to take the PSAT was definitely shown to like everyone in our class. And we had a big percentage, I feel like, out of my class, at least, who took advantage of the opportunity. And the information was all easily accessible. I feel like maybe the benefits weren't as like stressed, but I definitely feel like there's a good turnout with people who took advantage of the opportunity this past fall.
So I have a question for administration. So with MyCap becoming more accessible at a younger age, is this kind of information, like, do kids understand what taking the PSAT could do for them in terms of future scholarships or just practice for the SAT, which can get us scholarships for college?
So this would be something that I'll check in with Principal Serapina about, and Tacey Fessenden, who is creating a lot of the core advisory curriculum. So I believe the answer is yes. The other thought that I had is with the orientation for incoming freshmen, that needs to be part of it. Like, what is important when you are entering the high school in terms of opportunities, if it's a test or if it's a scholarship or if it's programming or it's accelerated pathways or college career readiness courses. So we need to add this to our menu of orientation and certainly confirm that it's in our menu of advisory topics.
Yeah. And I appreciate you letting us know about the number of students that with accommodations that are taking these tests. And we want to make sure that folks, kids who do need accommodations know that, whatever it is they need accommodations for would not prohibit them from taking these tests.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, can I just add one thing, though? I am concerned on hearing that we are no longer a weekend site, because I think if you look at our population, it's not like kids are necessarily going to have such an easy access to necessarily go to other locations. So that's something that, I was very unaware of, because my kids are long gone past taking the SATs, but that really does concern me for our community of not necessarily having a testing site here on the weekends.
But they're now able to take them here during the school day. And isn't this done on the late start days? Isn't it like the late start that we've had? Like, they do it on those days. So it's creating more access for students to take it during the school day rather than have to take it on the weekend.
It does create an opportunity. It does have one that's being taken away too. Do you know what I mean? Like, so
What's being taken away?
well, because depending upon the time of the year, there are different slots that it would be able to be offered of multiple times that you could choose to take the test, if you will, if it were on weekend dates. So it's not necessarily always here in Marlboro, like it's all in different locations, but it does allow for.
Yeah, but can't they go to a different location?
But
Yeah,
I
they
am,
can go to a different location. So I don't know how Marlboro students are not.
And we're
getting-
offering it twice a year during the school day.
it's an advantage in some ways. I think it's a little bit of a disadvantage in other ways, dependent upon, missing classes in some aspects, having the opportunity. That was news to me, so thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jade.
Okay. Next up.
Hi, good evening, school committee. My name is Maggie Morrissey, and I am the junior SAC representative. Tonight, I'll be presenting on the topic of a peer tutoring program for the high school. One of the biggest issues I have dealt with and my friends have been dealing with this year is struggling in classes. As a junior, the transition from sophomore year to junior year classes has been very difficult, especially because the course material has been so much more complicated and fast-paced. Specifically, I've seen a lot of my friends struggling in their math classes, specifically Algebra 2. Many of my friends have taken advantage of the extra help program at the high school. The extra help program meets 3 times a week and after school in the LMC, where a few teachers stay to help students with any questions they have. But there are some drawbacks to the extra help program. The LMC is not open after school every single day. Many students are not able to stay after school due to having sports, family responsibilities, or jobs. And there's not a teacher for every single subject for the students. I know from my personal experience, one time I went for the extra help and I went for my science class, but there was no science teacher, so I didn't really get anything. Thinking about all these issues, I had an idea to create a peer tutoring program at the high school. This program would connect students who are struggling with another student who excels in the subject. Students who need help would be able to fill out a quick Google form where they list what they need and what the subject they need help in and their availability. They can now then be connected with the student who feels confident in that subject and has provided that same availability. This would solve a lot of the issues presented by the extra help program because there's a lot more flexibility on when students could meet. Students who will share their availability and a time and place that works best for them, whether that be after school in the LMC, later at a public library, or during Panther. Also, students will have the opportunity to get one-on-one help, which they might not be able to get from their teachers. This program will be beneficial for students at tutoring as well, because tutors will be able to get service hours for NHS, and they will be able to get some more experience for their college and professional careers. Overall, a peer tutoring program at the high school will create a new, more flexible pathway for students to succeed. It will supplement the pre-existing extra help program. This will also create a new way for students to get service hours and real-world experience as tutors. Thank you so much for listening, and I would love to hear any questions or comments.
Thank you, Maggie.
So I presume you've spoken to Principal Serpina about this.
I have, yeah.
So is it happening?
Yeah, I'm working with NHS, working through NHS and with Serpina, and I've created a Google form, and I'm just gonna put it out through flyers. I'm gonna put it on all the Google Classrooms and onto, I'm gonna reach out to teachers. They can put it on their Google Classrooms as well. So basically students will be able to fill out that form if they need help, and hopefully I'm gonna reach out through NHS, and they're hopefully gonna put up a post so people can put in what they feel confident in, and just a way to match students that are struggling with another student that is excelling. I think I know I've tutored before, and I know that's already happening without an official program, but this will just be a kind of more official way for students that might not have a friend to
Right.
find someone. And I'm also gonna so basically posters and just through Google Classroom and stuff like that.
Awesome. Great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up.
Altagracia Toussaint could not be here tonight, so she asked for me to read this on her behalf. So know that this is written in her voice. I am not her. My name is Altagracia Toussaint. I am the SAC representative for the senior class. Today I will do my presentation on support through the college application process. I would like to say first and foremost, thank you to the guidance counselors for all their efforts in helping us throughout the application process with the presentations, Naviance, and core classes. Thank you as well to the teachers, especially the English teachers, for helping. I didn't tell her to put that in there, for helping with college essays. Today, I wanted to provide some feedback on what I felt was missing and needed. We have a program called CORE, Collaborative Opportunities for Reaching Excellence. It is a class period during which we are given information or an activity to complete, and its purpose is to raise awareness of various subjects. It has been used many times to help us navigate Naviance, which is the personalized planning tool that students use throughout high school, and has taught us about labor markets, personality tests, career opportunity options, etc. I, along with 6 out of the 10 of my survey participants, would like to use the core classes more as a resource for our college application process in our junior year instead of our senior year, to inform us about the many resources available, like college representative visits and how to sign up for them, QuestBridge, especially for students that might need financial help, FAFSA and MIFA and their differences, and who can apply for each, since it does have requirements such as being a citizen or a permanent resident, etc., as well as help us with steps in the completion of the application process, like how to create a common app account and when it is open and how to navigate it, teacher recommendations, how they should ask and how to pick the more advantageous teachers, and that it is also beneficial to ask teachers in your junior year and give them and yourself time. A benefit of having the information in core classes early on is to make it easier for students applying early to know what to do and have a good amount of time before submitting their application. My senior year, the college application process presentation was given mid to the end of October, which is not great for students that are planning to apply for early action and early decision, which have deadlines of November 1st or November 15th. So it would be great to have it earlier on. There have been presentations about college planning in junior year for both students and parents, as well as college application process presentation senior year for students and parents. I have heard students saying that when they announced the presentations the day during the Panther period, that resulted in students not attending. So I think that kids were kind of surprised that it was happening, I think is how that's kind of supposed to be interpreted. From the 10 respondents I asked if they attended both meetings, 90% answered no for themselves and 100% no for their parents attending. When it comes to parents, if we could have a recorded video of the presentation sent to their email. I know the guidance counselors have the slides posted on Marlboro High School websites, but many parents might not know how to access it if not told so. Maybe sent it through their emails, and for cases when parents don't read emails to inform their child so they could tell their parents. So inform the child so they can tell their parents, which is a good way to make sure that they are getting the information. She also included one of the survey questions because it was open-ended and she has the responses. So the survey question was, what information about the process of college planning and application do you wish the school could have given? And then a couple of the student responses were how to sign up or get a scholarship, engaging all seniors to start checking in with them, see how far they've gotten, how early to start for early decision and early action, and then a really long one. Here we go. I wish the school helped students understand and know what STARS and CSS are. Me and many of my classmates were unaware that we had to complete this. I wish there were a core that took us through our college application, how to start it and how to fill out the basics, like weighted GPA, where to find it, what the scale is, and so on. This way, guidance counselors could avoid the individual questions and students can work on the same info at the same time. Also, pointers on how to send AP scores and where to put them. And then that was the end of that quotation. This is all I wanted to share with the board. Thank you for listening and sorry for my absence. And I just wanted to add that they rescheduled the college financial aid information evening from December 2nd, which was the snowy day where all afternoon things were canceled, to next Tuesday, December 16th at the MHS Science Lecture Hall from 6 to 7:30, so that you can get parents and students can get information about financial aid from a MIFA expert. And there is translation available in Haitian Creole, Portuguese, and Spanish on site. So I want to make sure I put that in there too.
Thank you.
I could try to field your questions.
No, I think we're good. Yeah.
My only question or comment is I'm really hopeful that this information has gone to the principal as well as to guidance, because very valid points needs to happen during the junior year.
Yep.
Doesn't help them if it's right at their senior year. So I'm hopeful that's been shared.
It actually, the conversation started there. So we're
Cool.
we're all it's getting the information to all the right people. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? Nothing from you at all?
I was just going to ask. So I remember when my kids were in high school, one of the guidance counselors was focused on college, and I'm guessing that isn't the case anymore. So do you remember?
Well, I think a lot of stuff happens through Liz D. Horatius. I don't know that she's QCC liaison, AP liaison. So there's a lot of like little pieces. And then with the actual process itself, I feel like the guidance counselors work with the students that they're assigned.
Yeah.
The tool.
Right. That's how it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
somewhat.
No, mine was a specific guidance counselor who I
There was
had.
one, because when my kids
I'm
were
older
at high
than
school.
your, I'm
Yeah,
older than
that's
your
true.
children.
Yeah, so I've had my guidance counselor help me out personally if I like reached out to him. I think though, like as especially as Alta said, the contact to me about has been pretty so-so.
Yeah.
I know I had a pretty early deadline, and I had a lot to learn pretty quickly about how to send scores. I didn't know some schools required like a required score sending, and I had no clue if they accepted my score, like when I can type it in, or do I have to send an official one? Those cost money. I mean, like I had to tell my friends that, oh, watch out, you might have to send a score. And there's a lot of stuff that I think even I still have yet to learn, but it would be great if it could be guided through the school. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's gotten more complicated.
yeah.
There's like early action 1, early action 2. There's like more layers and more things now.
I think even like the difference between those hasn't been expressed to us. Like
Yeah.
ED is a binding decision. I think I don't know if every student knows that versus early action versus regular edition. There's benefits to, submitting both. And it's important to, figure out what works best for you. And I don't think that's been really shown to us. But
Okay.
Can you send along that feedback to me as well, please?
Of course.
That these issues need to be addressed for sure, and will be.
Thank you much.
you.
Okay. Moving on.
Thank you.
Yes. Daughters of the Revolution Scholar Award recipients.
So I'm going to take this first one, Mayor Christian. I don't
Yep.
see Betsy Powell in the audience unless she's hiding somewhere. Betsy, former Richard School student, wonderful, wonderful kid. It is with great pleasure that we recognize Betsy Powell as a class of 2026 recipient for the Daughters of the American Revolution Good Citizen Award, otherwise known as the DAR Good Citizen Award. Betsy is known for being a driven, empathetic, and passionate young woman who exemplifies the DAR qualities of dependability, service, leadership, and patriotism. During her years at MHS, Betsy has been incredibly involved in both the MHS community and her local community. Betsy currently serves as the class vice president for the class of 2026, the president of Voices Required, an a cappella group, a link leader for the current freshman class, a member of the Drama Club, and is a member of the National Honor Society, the National Art Honor Society, and the Tri-M Music Honor Society. Wow. Betsy was also the recipient of the St. Anselm College Book Award during her junior year. In the greater community, she volunteers as a CNA for a patient with ALS, an intern with the Stand With Us Kenneth Leventhal High School internship, a fellow with the Diller Teen Activism Fellowship, and works a part-time job as a local retail associate at Ashley Irene Boutique. Betsy is currently ranked 13th in her class at Marlborough High School with a 4.959 cumulative grade point average. Since entering Marlborough High School as a freshman, Betsy has always been a hardworking straight-A student. She is incredibly focused and determined to be the absolute best she can be. By the end of her senior year, Betsy will have completed 6 AP courses, excelling across multiple disciplines. This year, as a senior, Betsy is preparing herself for college by taking an AP Biology, AP Literature and Composition, AP Statistics, and Honors Anatomy. Betsy is very interested in pursuing a degree in nursing next year when she goes off to college. Congratulations to Betsy on her past, present, and future achievements.
Okay. Well,
May I
congratulations.
add something? I know Betsy's not here, but I was actually surprised to see that it didn't include the fact that Betsy was on the team that went to the International Robotics Championship. That isn't even mentioned here, so that's why she's not here, right?
For those at home, she's actually at school right now. That's what the members of the audience said. So
Yeah.
congratulations, Betsy.
She was also excellent in the Little Shop of Horrors, but Betsy has done a lot. So congratulations to Betsy.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
The next award is the Award for Academic Growth and Student Leadership in Learning, NSDC. It is with great pleasure that we recognize Jessica Cardosa as a Class of 2026 recipient for the National School Development Council Award for Academic Growth and Student Leadership in Learning. Jessica is a true leader at Marlborough High School and has excelled academically in her time here. Jessica has grown over her years at MHS into a curious, compassionate, and talented young woman. In her years at MHS, Jessica has been a 2-year member of our One Goal program, a program that introduces juniors whose first language is not English to the college and career landscape and helps them identify their potential professional aspirations. Jessica is also a member of the National Honor Society, president of the Interact Club, and during her senior year is participating in our EMT program and spearheading a fundraising effort to provide AEDs for every one of our athletic fields. Academically, Jessica is a high-ranking member of her class and has an overall GPA of 4.72. Jessica has successfully completed 3 advanced placement courses and is recognized by the College Board as an AP Scholar. Jessica is currently enrolled in 2 additional AP courses during her senior year. Jessica has an incredibly bright future ahead of her, and we are so excited to see where college takes her. Congratulations to Jessica on her past, present, and future accomplishments.
Congratulations.
Oh. NSDC right up for Nicholas Andrade. Nicholas Andrade, who I do not see in the audience either, unless he's hiding, okay, is an outstanding student whose academic dedication, personal integrity, and commitment to his school community make him an exceptional choice for the National School Development Council Award. With an impressive 4.56 GPA and a class rank of 16, Nick has consistently demonstrated a deep commitment to excellence. Nick is recognized as an AP Scholar. In fact, by the time he graduates from MHS, he will have taken 7 advanced placement courses, including AP Economics and AP Statistics, which he selected intentionally to prepare for his intended major in economics. Nick's impact extends far beyond the classroom. A 4-year member of the varsity boys volleyball team, Nick has been a central part of the program's success. Nick shared one of his proudest personal accomplishments was where he and his teammates reached the State Elite 8 championship. He also plays in a club league, demonstrating both passion and dedication to the sport. Equally impressive is Nicholas's commitment to service and leadership. As president of the Best Buddies Club, he leads efforts to support students with special needs in forming meaningful relationships, friendships, and building community. He is also a proud member of the National Honor Society, reflecting the strength of his character as well as his academic merit. Beyond academics and leadership, Nicholas balances 2 part-time jobs, working at both a local car wash and a trampoline park. His ability to excel academically, lead with kindness, compete athletically, and maintain a strong work ethic speaks to his maturity, determination, and sense of responsibility. Nicholas Andrade's motivation, compassion, and commitment to his academics make him an exemplary choice for the National School Development Council Award. Congratulations, Nicholas. Nicholas was also part of the Playbook Initiative when we initially launched it.
Yeah, sure.
I believe we took a picture.
Yes, we have one more that just squeaked in under the radar this evening. A short but very powerful letter of commendation this evening to Skylar Monahan for the National Merit Scholarship Program for outstanding performance on the PSAT National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test in 2024. So a big congratulations to Skylar. Very proud of her.
Okay. I think last time we took a picture with the
Picture, yeah, for
if
sure.
those that are here, you want to come up so we can do a little photo op? Yeah. I know. You don't have to partake.
I want to reach out to you. There is a gentleman named
Joe DeWarner, who used to be a city councilor and used to be a school committee member. His big passion is AEDs, and he's also involved with the Masons that have a lot of money to give. So I'd like to reach out to him.
Ready? No. You okay? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Should we take one with Skylar too? Yeah.
Actually, Skylar, I have yours. Congratulations. And ready? 1, 2. 1, 2. Perfect. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone watching, for your patience. We will move on to the superintendent's report.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Pleasure to see everyone. A few items on the agenda for, or to my report on the agenda for this evening. First is to give our attendance update. In your packet, you will see attached to my report a couple of documents. The first is the active student enrollment. You will see that our total student enrollment currently is right around 4,341 students. We're actually going to talk about that number in a few minutes when we get into our budget cycle and budget process. Behind that is our updated attendance year to date as of December 5th. You will notice that our elementary schools are still hovering right around the 95% daily average attendance marker. The middle school is just under 95%, still around 94.3, and the high school is around 92.6, so a little bit lower than the others. One of the challenges that we did have last week was some of the interruptions in our school day as a result of the weather. To assist with Friday's cold, sub-below temperatures, we did hand out hats, mittens, and scarves the Thursday before school was released to students who were in need. Since we have also purchased additional hats, mittens, scarves, and have had them sent over to the schools so that if there are children who need them, they are available. We do also have a significant number of bins of jackets in multiple sizes, handed those out as well. So certainly working very hard to make sure that our students are warm and safe on their way to school each day as we go through the winter months. We will continue to work very closely with our schools and our student support teams to make sure that our children are coming to school each day. And we are monitoring, as you know, in some cases daily attendance, particularly on really cold days. Keeping a very close eye on our attendance. Moving on to transportation, things have improved with our yellow bus transportation. It's December, so that's good. And they have been improving for some time now. Our family tracking app launched in November, which has been helpful. I've definitely had feedback from parents saying that it's not perfect, but it's definitely made a positive impact in terms of notifications when the bus gets into their radius and triggering the message to the families that it might be time to head out to the bus stop. So we're happy about that. The other piece that's been very beneficial has been the monitoring program that our administrators now have on their desktops. So we can actually see where the buses are, the big buses, and tracking their whereabouts if there's a delay or if there's a question coming in from one of the families. So very happy that our technology seems to be working and improving service to our families and students. But all that being said, it remains a priority as we continue to move through the next few months, particularly the winter months. With that, we are also closely monitoring our walking zones. Ms. O'Brien recently met with Principal House and Principal Serpina to get a sense of certain neighborhoods where there's a lot of walkers, monitoring the attendance there to see if we do need to add any additional buses. We'll keep a very close eye on that. We want to ensure that our children are coming to school. We have that increased walking zone, so we're watching very carefully to make sure that children in those areas are still getting to school on time. So more to come on that as we continue to monitor over the next subsequent weeks. Lots of conversation around the high school again this evening, which is always an exciting piece for our conversations. But we are well on our way to looking at expanding our pathways, career pathways, and internships. We, as recent as yesterday and today, surveyed our high school students to get a sense of what the career paths are that they are curious or would like to learn more about or be interested in pursuing. This information is critically important. We had over 400 students participate in our survey. In the middle school, we'll be taking it, I believe, next week. Because on December 11th, myself, Principal Serpina, and Ms. Coyle, our career specialists, will be attending the MEDC meeting, the Marlboro Economic Development. I believe it's corporation. I think I call it council all the time, but I have to correct myself. Corporation, thank you. And the focus of that conversation is going to be sort of multifaceted, but one of the main pieces of our conversation will be around what are the areas of interest of our students, what are the areas of need within our community, and then two things. The students, as part of their survey, they actually outline specific skills where they are looking to build some kind of capacity or build some muscle around, but not necessarily technical skills. There was some of that, but the students really shared a bit about, and I know there's all different names for this, so forgive me if I say it wrong, but like the soft skills, 21st century skills, I feel like that name's always changing. But one of the things that the students told us they really want to learn more about was around teamwork, collaboration, communication, which is critical in any workforce, as we know. So along with bringing the areas of interest to the MEDC, we are also going to be looking for matches around the skill development. We will then be turning the tables and asking the questions to our MEDC about where are the biggest areas of need in Marlboro as far as workforce development, and what are the skills that they see a need in kind of building, and how can we work together to do that? Again, those kind of softer 21st century skills. I'm really looking forward to this conversation Thursday morning. We have put together a small slide deck, which I'll share with the school committee, so you can get a sense of how we're going to show up and what we're going to be discussing with the MEDC. And the last piece of that will be around, and kind of shouting this out to our community who's listening, the survey that we sent out, and Mayor, thank you for sending it in the city email as well, around our portrait of a learner and strategic plan, and what are those skills that we are looking for as far as development in our graduates. So we'll be asking our MEDC members and their colleagues to be taking the survey as well. So far, we only have 27 survey responses, but we are definitely going to keep beating the drum and getting that information out there. So big focus on pathways and internship expansion, but also trying to get a couple of bites of the apple in other areas as well. So very much looking forward to that. Moving on to the FY27 budget development, lots of work is transpiring in that space already. We have a few different tracks of work that are happening currently. We have already sent out to our cost center managers or our principals, those that are in charge of managing budgets Forgive the term. That's an old term that I'm used to using. But we have sent out the requests for new staff. So where do our principals see or program directors see gaps in staffing? That's about 80% of our budget, right? So that's usually where the big ask is. So we've sent out those materials to all of our administrators to date. We have two really important meetings coming up. The presentation of those requests will be on December 22nd. And we've chunked a large portion of the day for those presentations. And we're going to, this year, we're going to do them together as we've done, I think, in the past, which is a really good practice because it gives an opportunity for our administrators to hear from each other and to really get a sense of what they are asking for. And really for us to collectively start those conversations around, sometimes we don't always need more, we just might need different. And so where are those spots where we're going to need some additional supports, and what are some of the changes we can make in our staffing patterns in order to help meet those needs? So we're really looking forward to that conversation. Taking that back one step, on December 19th, Karen Runlett, our Assistant Director of Finance, and I will be meeting with each of our principals and directors individually to walk through their specific budgets, their supply lines, the consumables, all the things. I call them kind of like the stuff and then the staff, right? So this is kind of the stuff that they need to really look and see. We're going to go back 3 years to see what we spent in each of these lines. We're going to look at our current spending projections to see where we are anticipating being by June of 2026. That will help us better forecast our FY27 needs in each of those areas. It's pretty tedious and it's a lot of work, but it's really, really important. And then the final kind of piece of this initial preliminary puzzle, our HR director, assistant finance director, and I spent over 3 hours reconciling what was budgeted for our positions, which again is about 80% of our budget, what we have in each one of those specific positions as far as salaries, where are the vacancies, and where are we going to land ultimately with any salary savings as a result of that. So that's really important because we can't roll over and start FY27 planning until we have FY26 firmly in place. Again, that's 80% of our budget. So lots of really good work happening in that space. And I know I'm kind of geeking out on this part, but I'm really looking forward to bringing this to the forefront because our fiscal plan really needs to match our instructional plan. So all of the goals that are outlined for the school district for this year that we know will obviously carry forward, they're pretty lofty goals. We need to make sure that our budget is actually supporting that. And there's no better way to see what an organization actually prioritizes other than looking at how they spend their money and time. So this is going to be a really important process for us. It is every year, but as we move forward. So lots more information to come on that. In your packet this evening is the first of 4 updates from our Assabet Valley Special Education Collaborative. Not a ton of information there. I'm new to the board, so I'm learning a bit about the operations and the programming for the Assabet Valley Collaborative. And I hope that in future updates, there will be more information for the school committee to review, as there's just really not a whole lot in their first report of the year. But wanted to make sure that it was included in the packet tonight. And then finally, at our last meeting, we had some conversation around elementary after-school programming. Dr. Skaza talked a lot about some of the tutoring work. I know that's underway, which is very exciting, both from our students and from our staff. And we talked a little bit about trying to enrich the arts, specifically through music, and trying to support the music development of our students by bringing additional music opportunities into the 5th grade. We know as we try to build that pipeline and that bench for chorus and band that we've got to do some of that work at the younger grade levels. So we are very excited to be launching 2 different after-school programs as pilots, one at Richer, one at Jarwick, with 2 different community partners, Bach to Rock and the Rock Institute. and really getting a sense of running 2 separate 10-week programs, but focused around things like Glee Club, chorus, rock band, beat making, and music production, and really giving our 5th graders an opportunity to explore and experience something different, and giving us a chance to really evaluate and assess the impact of that. And so we hope to repeat those programs or some version of that at both Kane and Goodnow, but we have to start somewhere. So we're going to start with the pilot at Richer and Jarwick, and we will be using our revolving funds to pay for that existing budget dollars. So we'll need to allocate anything new to those programs, but really excited. I just want to put that out there to our parents. So if you are a family at home and you're tuning in and you have a 5th grader, please do reach out to your building principal, particularly if you're Richer at Jarwick, because we are going to pilot there first, again, with the hopes of expanding to Kane and Goodnow. So we covered a lot of ground, but that concludes my report, and happy to answer any questions that the committee may have. Lots of great stuff happening.
Good. Okay.
Can I just ask one question? The family transportation tracking app, is that available online, or was it like an invitation to follow that? Like if parents aren't doing it now, how do they do it?
Sure. So for the app that has been put out through the principal's weekly messages with the QR code to be able to download the app on your phone.
Okay, so parents can find it in the principal's message if they want to add it.
Is one, and then also on our website under the transportation.
Okay.
I would just say easy to do on my phone, and as a parent, the visibility has been really helpful. So thank you.
That's great. In the desktop version that the schools are using, it's very similar to like you see the little buses going around the map on around the city of Marlborough. It's like watching a DoorDash or Grubhub order, because that's what it kind of looks like going across the city.
I'm assuming it's available through Apple and Android phones. Correct? I'm assuming if it's an app, I would assume it's on all smartphones.
You just go into the App Store and download it.
Thank you.
Superintendent DeFalco, our winters can be extremely harsh, as we see right now, and unforgiving. Can you remind community members if they'd like to make a donation or support any coat, warm clothing drive, how they might do that?
I appreciate that question. So anybody who's interested, there's a few different ways we can do that. You can reach out directly to your child's school and have a conversation with their either adjustment counselor in that building or building principal. You also can reach out to my office, and we will gladly take any donations and coordinate that through the Office of Student Services. And then we'll distribute those to our wraparound coordinators and adjustment counselors. So we have a really good network of support in place. So multiple places you can go, your child's school or my office. We're happy to take care of it.
Thank you.
And would welcome any donations. Thank you.
Okay, we're good. Moving on. Okay, moving on to Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, Dr. Scanza.
We have some PD on the horizon starting as early as tomorrow afternoon. So tomorrow, December 10th is our next early release day. And staff members will participate in a variety of opportunities during that early release time, such as guided planning time, where they have kind of a script that they're following with the core programs in both math and reading when it comes to preparing for the next steps for those programs. So teacher teams, grade level teams, K through 5 will be planning with the core math and reading programs. We have a roadmap focus on active learning in all departments at the high school. I've talked about that previously, trying to truly get as many active learning opportunities in the classroom, get students kind of out from behind the screen and engaged in learning in a different capacity than we have been used to during the pandemic and post-pandemic. Included in the roadmap focus for professional development are opportunities to work with student discourse. So we're trying to introduce as many routines to incorporate student discourse into all content areas as possible. So just recently I met with Principal Richards, and she has found a whole menu of discourse routines that are applicable all the way from preschool up to the high school classrooms. So you hear turn and talk used quite often, but there are a plethora of other discourse routines. So we'll have some time working with that from the ECC up to the high school, and elementary paraeducators have a really comprehensive and robust day planned tomorrow. So we're excited to announce that Chris Henry and his team will be doing, Assistant Superintendent O'Brien had mentioned it not too long ago, kind of that round robin training session that we had offered at the beginning of the school year, where paraeducators will be at Hildreth School and they're kind of rotate through stations and specific professional development topics. And in this case, they're going to get as much access to supporting the Tier 1 core programs as possible. In addition, Katie Garner, our representative from TNTP, is going to review some of the components for the Into Math program with our paraeducators, and she's going to specifically reinforce ways that paraeducators can assist in supporting students with that whole notion of productive struggle. So as students are struggling with content and we're really trying to get them to grapple with the material and push them through that zone of proximal learning, we want paraeducators to know what their role is in that process and how maybe they stand aside, maybe they assist in gradual release. So we'll be walking the paraeducators through that topic tomorrow as well. So the crux of these sessions is to tease out the specific role the paraeducator plays and how it applies to supporting, or the paraeducator's role applies to supporting Tier 1 instruction and the roadmap priorities. As previously mentioned, the January 20th Professional Development Day will be designed a little bit differently. So we're getting away from that choice menu that we have offered and starting to streamline our professional development on the full PD days a little bit differently. We are going to continue to offer our morning anti-bias, anti-racism training to all staff. Co-chair Michelle Bowden-Henninger is on that committee with me, and we've been using Zaretta Hammond's Culturally Responsive Teaching in the Brain. I do have a copy for you all. I just keep forgetting to bring it. I will get you your copy. And we're working with a partner from William James College, Dr. Chris Taylor, who is helping us design the professional development for that morning. So I think it's going to be really powerful. We've gotten some good feedback from the staff from our last session that they appreciated the context and the connection to the text, so we're going to move forward in that area. And then, like I mentioned, the afternoon, we're going to really streamline and prioritize the offerings during the PM session so that they are specifically tailored to and geared toward our Tier 1 core program and instructional priorities. Just a couple examples of what that would look like. So I don't know if you recall, but we used to use the Writing with Colors program or strategy years back. We're going to reintroduce that because of continued data that indicates that we are struggling, our output is struggling in the area of writing performance. So we're going to reintroduce that strategy to the teachers. And we are also going to reinforce the foundational literacy skills and structured literacy for our primary educators during the PD sessions as well. So we have a lot of good things that we will be focused on for the January 20th PD day. And then finally, our administrators, we haven't left them out this time either, and we have arranged, or Chris Henry rather, has arranged a training for our administrators on running our NWEA MAP growth reports. So recently, we've really been trying to figure out what exactly is being asked of students, what these assessments are measuring, because we're putting a lot of stock in their measurement, and making sure that administrators, not just the principals, but the ETLs and the assistant principals are able to run reports that are meaningful when they are leading conversations with teams of teachers. So got some good stuff planned for the 10th tomorrow and the 20th of January. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? If not, we can move on. Okay, move on to the Assistant Superintendent Student Services and Equity
Thank you very much.
Jody.
Before I go into my report, I just wanted to thank Dr. Skaza and the Office of Teaching and Learning, for the collaboration in preparing for the professional development training that we're doing tomorrow for the K-5 paraeducators. That is part of the special ed strategies that I had put together and presented to the school committee, where we're looking to be able to increase the paraeducator skill sets and have them be able to be more effective in supporting students within the general education classroom. So I want to thank you and your team, the curriculum supervisors. We met along with John Fletcher to be able to come up with not only the paraeducator training, but we are also working together with the with curriculum supervisors and providing a training tomorrow for the K-5 special education teachers around the into math and into reading and how they can utilize that within their pull-out sessions to have higher expectations for students in access to the core curriculum, as well as how they can better support general education teachers within those curriculum materials. So I want to thank you. So on to my report. Last week, we had the Department of Education on site on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as part of our audit of special education and civil rights. We are part of Group A, which Group A is more heavily concentrated on special education regulations and a little bit of civil rights. Group B, which will be in 3 years, would be the opposite, heavier in civil rights and a little bit of special ed. So prior to the on-site visit, we had had to provide a lot of different documents. Dr. Skaza had taken the lead on the civil rights areas, which included responsibilities of the school principals, which in regards to implementation of the district accommodation plans, as well as procedures for early literacy screenings that identify early warning indicators for dyslexia and intervention planning. And that is a regulation that had went into effect a number of years ago, where elementary schools are required to provide to do an early literacy screening for kindergarten through age 3, and then any students that are identified as a red flag warning would be to implement interventions for those students. So during the on-site visit, they did review a number of student records. The majority of those records were special education student records that were pre-selected a couple weeks before they had come on-site. For those records, they were looking at timelines, making sure that we had translated documents for any parents who English is not their primary language. Also reviewing to make sure that that special education procedures that reflect compliance were noted throughout the record. They would go back, over the last 2 years and looking at making sure that that parent notices went out within 10 days, meeting notices went out prior to 10 days of meeting, that IEPs went out in a timely manner after IEP meetings. In addition, they also looked at general education student records. They looked at 9 of those for the pre-referral process, which is called at the elementary level and secondary level. It's called a student support team. The assistant principals run those at the elementary levels, and there are at the middle school and high school level, they have designated staff, either like a team leader, or at the high school, it is a specific person that is running their student support team. So what that is when a teacher has a concern about a student, they will bring that student forward to a student support team, and they talk about what the concerns are. They look at data, and they develop a plan, an intervention plan for that student. They implement that over a period of 6 to 8 weeks, progress monitor, and then the student support team will review to see if there was improvement or if they need to do other interventions. And then over time, if there is not, if they do not have progress, then there could be discussion about moving that student forward for a special education evaluation to determine whether or not that student has a learning disability. So they looked at 9 records across the district for that, and they also reviewed 8 K-3 records across the 2 from each of the 4 elementary schools to look at the documentation for those early literacy screenings. They also conducted a number of interviews. They interviewed myself as well as John Fletcher, the Director of Special Education. They also interviewed all of the building principals and our Director of ECC. That's a first for me. Usually they only interview maybe 1 or 2. This year, part of their focus was on the pre-referral process, the process for the students' support teams, as well as MTSS, which I had, for those of you who might not know, that is the multi-tiered support systems of support. So you're looking at tier 1, which is the instruction, curriculum instruction that all students get, whether or not it's academic or it's our social emotional learning curriculum. Tier 2 would be general education interventions for any students that are not able to be successful in tier 1. Tier 3 is more intensive interventions, and sometimes at that point, tier 3 is also considered special education services. So they interviewed all the principals, asking them questions about their procedures within their building around that, as well as procedures regarding the use of timeout spaces within their buildings. When the team members were at the buildings interviewing the principals, they also went and toured, observed each of the timeout spaces to make sure that they met the regulation requirements, that it's a safe space, that there isn't anything there for students to injure themselves, making sure that that there's no that the doors have windows. If there is a door, you need to be able to make sure that staff have visual contact of a student that's in a timeout space at all times. Then they also are scheduling 2 virtual interviews this week with parents of special education students. One of them is the chair of our CPAC, and then there is another parent that was selected to be interviewed as well. The next steps, within the next week or 2, they'll reach back out to us to schedule an exit interview that will be both myself, Dr. Scaza, and then Superintendent DeFalco, and John Fletcher as the Director of Special Education. They'll provide us with preliminary results, and then they'll follow up with a final report based on their review. And I guess that's it. Any questions?
Thank you. Catherine.
Thank you for the information. I guess when you had mentioned about the different student records that were selected, pre-selected by them, by us, at random,
But
just
both. So we had to submit our entire roster of special education students at the beginning of the school year. So they reviewed those, and they went through looking for a variety of students at the elementary, middle, and high school level, in district, out of district, looking to make sure that there was a representation of different disabilities. So they went through and they picked students from that, and then they met with John Fletcher and I to go through those. And if it was a record that was selected, say of a student that has moved since we had submitted that, then we would let them know that, and they would have a backup name. So they were the ones that had picked them. And then we had a couple of weeks to be able to get those records from the schools to my office. And they had camped out in the superintendent conference room for 3 days to be able to review those.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? No? Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you much. Moving on to the acceptance of minutes. Minutes of the November 25th, 2025 school committee meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes from the November 25th, 2025 meeting.
Motion is on the table and seconded. Questions, comments, or concerns regarding the November 25th school committee meeting? Seeing none, all in favor? Minutes are approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to public comment. Is there any public comment going once? Seeing none, public comment going twice. Seeing none, public comment for the third time. We good? We are good. Alrighty. We are moving on from public comment. Action items and reports. Acceptance of donations and gifts. So I'm going to go in order here. The Charitable Trust ERA Key Realty Services, scholarships for graduating senior for $500.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve is on the table and seconded. Questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you much. That's carries. The next one is Marlboro Nissan Scholarship for $1,500. Scholarship for graduating senior again.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve is on the table and seconded. Questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Okay, I want to thank the ERA Key Realty Services and Marlboro Nissan Scholarship. Marlboro Nissan for those scholarships. And moving on to O'Connor Studios for student programs and activities at Keene School for $1,447.94.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve is on the table and seconded. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, O'Connor Studios. And then lastly, I have is Hannaford Supermarket for $444 for student activities at high school.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve is on the table and seconded. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, Hannaford's. Alrighty, moving on to Student Council MASC Annual Conference, March 4th through the 6th in Hyannis. Alrighty. How are you? I know you are back. It's a good thing.
Hi.
Alrighty.
I'm Mary Ellen Klein, one of the advisors for the Marlboro High School Student Council. I'm here requesting permission for attendance and participation in the MASC, which is Marlboro Association of Student Councils, annual spring conference at a 3-day, 2-night conference held at the Emerald Resort and Conference Center in Hyannis in March. At this conference, student council members and advisors are engaged with nationally recognized speakers, workshops, awards, music, and dancing. This is a rewarding opportunity for leadership development of our most active student council members. Attendees are trained in leadership through cutting-edge small and large group workshops with national presenters and student hosts, which allow all delegates an opportunity to share ideas and learn new skills. This is also a great opportunity to network with like-minded students from across Massachusetts. At the close of the event, there is a formal awards recognition banquet that recognizes student achievement and council excellence. We are planning to take the allotted 12 students this year. I'm excited to share that we have more applicants than we do have spots, which is a
That's
big
exciting.
turnout. For the past couple of years, attendees have been able to experience this valuable opportunity at no cost through sponsorship and fundraising that will continue to be true. MHS is able to sponsor 8 students with chaperones and transportations, and student council has worked very hard to fundraise to supplement the remaining costs for of this conference for the additional 4 students. So we have that covered. Over the past few years, our council has rebounded, and this event has been a catalyst for engagement and involvement and activity. Students come back with enthusiasm, ideas, connections, and skills that they've accumulated over 3 short days. Thank you for your continued support of our student leaders.
Okay,
Motion to approve.
sure. We have the agenda in front of us. Do they really do a polar plunge, all of them? So like, is that a requirement or just
To do the polar
volunteer?
plunge, we do it. It's not a requirement. You
Yeah,
can be a
no.
towel holder. But yeah, we do raise funds in conjunction with, it's a big part of it, yeah. It's for special Olympics.
First thing on the itinerary in day one, so it's, I love
Trial
it,
by fire.
right? Okay.
Some of us
so
plunged twice, actually, because we did it March 1st with the police, and then
Oh,
we do the
okay.
4th when we go, yeah.
the commitment, I love it. Right. There is a motion on the table, correct? And
Yes.
seconded. Is there any questions, comments, or concerns?
My only comment I would say is I thank you for doing this year after year, and you've been such a great role model for these kids, and I appreciate it. I know I had a student that was able to be involved in the student government. And when you're talking about the soft skills that they learn, this is it. You know, this is a great example. So thank you so much for your dedication to this.
Nice.
I ditto that. Thank you very much. I will be abstaining from this vote.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Or it's on motion and seconded. All in favor? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 abstained. Just the record reflect that. Thank you, Ms. Secretary. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the conference. Okay, moving on to memorandum of agreement between Marlborough School Committee and the Marlborough Educator Association, temporary vacancy school nurse coordinator. Mr. Superintendent, do you elaborate or no? That'd be great.
So this is a side letter between the MEA and the school committee regarding the responsibilities of the director of nursing position that continues to be open, and the MEA is going to take on some of those responsibilities.
Okay,
So we voted in executive session to approve. We will vote again in open session, and then I will sign the letter.
okay.
So move to approve.
Same motion on the table and seconded. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Moving on. Reports of school committee subcommittees. Is there any going once, going twice? Seeing none, Karma, moving on. Members forum. Is there anything for members forum? Yes.
I've reviewed the warrant and we'll be signing it for you.
Thank you much. Okay, anything else? Yes, sir.
Just a reminder for the community that on Thursday night at Whitcomb, we have our Marlborough High School winter concert at 7. It's a great showcase of the arts, and nearly 15% of our students are participating in the winter concert. I also wanted to touch on the tutoring that Atul shared with us at the last committee meeting and reflect on the student council discussion tonight of peer-to-peer tutoring. It's nice to see that outreach into the schools and across the schools happening and seeing students help each other. So thank you.
Alrighty. I want to thank all the students who participated in the downtown tree lighting and the holiday stroll. It was, I believe you were at the performance, Denise. I did not make it, but I know during the tree lighting it was beautiful music as always. So thank you to all the students who participated and dealt with the cold weather as we lit the tree. Anything else for the members forum? Seeing none.
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn is on. Yes.
Move to
So
adjourn into executive session.
motions on the table to adjourn. Questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, all in favor of adjourning? We are adjourned. 8:56. Thank you much.